Hi, I hope you're really well. It kind of feels really weird for me to be home at this time of the day. It is just before 11:30 in the morning here in New Zealand for those of you who might be watching overseas. Feels weird because it is a Tuesday. I already had my family holiday last week, been away most of the week last week up in Northland, beautiful part of New Zealand. If you ever come here or if you're already living here, head out there and check out some of these hidden beaches. The reason why I don't have a book in my hand, so I'm just going to hold this up. Hopefully you can see it. Um, I'm pretty sure you would have seen me blasting images of my new book that will be out on the 29th of February. The reason why I decided to do the live video was to talk a little bit up on about the book because for those of you who are very close to me, have known about the journey that I've sort of led in 2019 or have been following me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, Instagram, or any number of other social handles, is I've been just chasing a very good time in the name of whiskey. And quite often I didn't chase it, it just came to me. I think it's just when you put the word out there, you put yourself out as a whiskey lover, people just seek you out, which definitely is true for me. I'm just going to make sure it is going live. Cool. Let's just assume it's going live. But it's just amazing experiences have come to me. For example, in March last year, went on a corporate trip to Melbourne. And the trip was actually around rum. It was all about rum. Supposed to be, I was taken there by one of my bottle store suppliers to go check out something about rum. We did nothing about the rum. If anything, we partied a bit, but at my own expense, I ended up driving out to Starwood Distillery, Australia's biggest whiskey distillery, I believe, and Four Pillars Gin Distillery, because I didn't know what else to do, because these things intrigue me. I want to know what's making these products sell, why the brand story is so strong, because my whole journey with APM has surrounded around the fact I had a problem understanding why someone should pay more than 80, 90, or $100 Kiwi dollars for a bottle of whiskey. And through my travels last year or the year before as well to Scotland, I've learned it's quality driven, of course. Sometimes rarity kicks in. You know, you've got a single cask whiskey that will not be repeated. You know, it's only a 100 bottle, 200 bottle release. But quite often, it's just the stories. And I'm becoming a strong believer in the fact it's the stories that sell a product or a service. And it could be relatable to any number of industries. And for a lot of my friends who are on LinkedIn specifically, you know, small business owners like me, it's our personal stories that sell a product or a service or attracts people to us. And I've been on the horn hard last year, pushing my personal stories, sharing my experiences. If you've been following some of them, and when you go to read the book, you will probably think, wow, I remember him talking about being in Japan at that time, but I did not know the story. I did not realize that Ash had a lost in translation moment in Japan and ended up being at a brewery, not a distillery. So that's in the book. You can read about that. But there's just so many little things like that in there. It's not a big book. It's only about 90 pages with lots of photos. But what I've done is gone through my phone's image gallery, but more importantly, my Instagram, and looked for one key moment in every month of last year, from January to December, and look for one key moment where I have absolutely lived my life in name of whiskey, or something has happened that made me stop and think, this is amazing, this is worth sharing. If you've been following my written content over the last 2 years, it's not my strong suit. I struggle with grammar, and the early copy of the book I sent to a couple of my friends. They kind of freaked out a little at some of the I don't know, they use some crazy jargon which I did not understand. And my reply to them was, I can pick it up, take it to a top editor, get them to, or I don't know what the terms are, get them to edit the hell out of it, but it will not be my voice. It will not be my thoughts. People who truly follow me, or love me, or have been following my whiskey journey will read it and think, this is not him. That's not how he writes. So I've left it alone how it is. I did get a professional to go through it just to check for the grammar, the spelling mistakes, and all that kind of stuff. So that was all ironed out. But otherwise, these are all just stories about what I've lived through. Some absolutely amazing experiences. The reason why I call it 12 plus 1 drams, because I wanted to share only 12 moments, one for each month, but one particular month, there was 2 of them, and I just could not decide. Well, every month had several of them. I mean, even in December, I think I hosted close to 13 or 14 whiskey tastings, and travel as well and all that kind of stuff, and just couldn't. It was a struggle to get to one, but in this one particular month, I had to put 2 in. Just couldn't do it. I mean, who's to say in the future I will share a lot more from every month or throughout the year, but just it's my first time writing a book. I've had a little bit of help putting it together by a brilliant gentleman, and it's looking pretty good. I'm quite proud of it. But what I'm more proud of is we're living in this modern society where, and I'll share a couple of these with you. We're living in a modern society where we all got one of these, or if you got better luck, you got one of those DSLR cameras, which creates automatically amazing pictures. All we got to do is get ourselves to the point where this beautiful sceneries are. We just point and shoot, and just magic is captured forever. And some of the magic I've shared in the book is from this moment here. I don't know if I think it's all right. So what I've done in the book, which I've been keeping a bit low key, when I was in Scotland back in March 2018, obviously a trip of a lifetime. I mean, I literally just got up and left one day, and trip of a lifetime, going around all around Scotland, but somehow I ended up being here. You see the lonely post there? Well, the reason I took that picture was that lonely post on the tiny, tiny island of Jura, Isle of Jura. You can look it up, or you can ask me. I'll guide you to there. Was just the scenery, the serenity, and the lack of human effect on the island. It just blew my mind. I just kind of felt like someone's picked me up and taken me back several 100 million years. I mean, I could look at myself. I'm wearing a big, thick jacket and literally holding a smartphone in my hand. So obviously there's hands there. My car was right behind me. But other than that, in my view, I was just looking at what it felt like is Mother Earth, how it was intended. It was just raw and beautiful. And being on a trip of a lifetime, a little bit of whiskey in me, I started to write. And I've never written. I mean, I don't write. I mean, we write social posts, but that's not writing. And I wrote a poem, which I've been sort of working on refining. Never shared it with anyone. I have shared it with a couple of friends now just to get their thought of it. Is that kind of dumb? Should I put it on the book? And it has come together, and I've shared in the book some more of my photos from this particular trip. And obviously the poem, it is out there. It will be in the book. I don't know if it will excite anyone. It's not going to be it's not going to be like Robbie Burns, but it is my words written inside during pure happiness, again, in name of whiskey. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have gone to Scotland. Definitely wouldn't have ended up on Jura purely in name of nature, because in New Zealand, as you know, we've got amazing volcanoes and islands and beautiful beaches, but it was because of the whiskey I ended up in Jura, having this amazing time. The other thing you got to look forward to in the book is my Whiskey of the Year, which again, those of you who are very close to me, I've probably already revealed to you what it is. And sorry, lost my chain of thought. Whiskey of the Year. So it's very hard, right? I mean, I did not keep track of all the whiskeys I tried last year, but if I had to come up with a number, I tried over 300 whiskeys without a doubt. I can't give you proof, but I mean, on a weekly basis, I'm trying new stuff. Off the camera here, I've got over 182 samples now on last count of new and exciting whiskeys that friends and family keep sending me, or I keep buying them online, or from open bottles that I use for whiskey tastings for 8 p.m. or my private functions as well, and just keep trying it. This particular whiskey came to me for a good friend who sent me this sample bottle first, little tiny bottle. I tried it and it was just pure magic. You know, quite often I say to my customers, you know, talking them out of buying a very expensive bottles by giving them an analogy. Look, I've tried that bottle. It was okay. The sky didn't part and the money didn't start falling out of the sky. But with this particular whiskey, the same thing happened, but it was just pure magic. I wanted to go back to it and ordered a bottle in from a supplier, got into it, the bottle disappeared quite quickly. I've shared it with some of my friends, and the feedback has been good. One particular person did not enjoy it, but I would never name them, but in hindsight, they don't know anything about high quality single malt whiskey. This particular gentleman is drinking at the Jack Daniel or Jameson with ginger ale and ice level, where this particular whiskey was an absolute smoke and a sherry bomb together. And again, if you've been following one of my journey, following my journey with the reviews, I believe smoky and a heavily long-aged sherry whiskey together is just pure magic, absolute magic. And that's what this is. And you'll find out in the book if you get a copy. Coming on to the price. So I was using this advisor out of one of the networks, and he said to me, Ash, what's the goal with this book? What do you want from it? And I said, look, I just want to keep sharing stories. I think people enjoy them. I think I have some good pictures which people will enjoy, and I just want to constantly keep feeding that attention that people are giving me quite rightly, and I truly appreciate it. So he said to me, look, we discussed going down the path of getting some printed, and I spoke to my mate Ken. You know, you all know Ken if you're in New Zealand. He's based in Auckland. Discussed with him what are the costs involved in getting a book printed, and getting a small run done is very expensive. It's just, yeah, very, very expensive. So this other advisor said, look, go down to Amazon, right? Costs you nothing to get it in there. Keep the retail for the ebook to nearly a zero or just above. Don't go zero because then you're literally giving away, but just put a nominal value on it and just get it out there, because that's what you want. You want people to read what you've written, understand and listen to the stories you've experienced, and obviously the images, plus the poem, plus the Whiskey of the Year. So there's a lot in there in a tiny book. I mean, if I printed it, it'd probably be only 90, 95 pages, which is not a lot. Some people might say it's a booklet, but the stories are quite in-depth and quite personal. And I kind of finished the book on a sad note. I don't want to get into that because I'll probably start crying. But I finished the book on a sad note as well. So there's a lot in there. I mean, I don't think I've left anything more I could tell you about this. I'm just quickly going to check and make sure that I haven't been blabbering on for the last few minutes with no one watching or saying, hey, we can't hear you. Oh, no, it's been working. Sweet. Brendan, Steve, Vinay, awesome. And I think it ended up being on Facebook as well. Yeah, perfect. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I always say this. I said this at my tastings. I say that in all of my whiskey reviews. Just reach out to me. I have nothing to sell to you unless you raise the question, I would like to buy something. I have nothing to share with you. Only thing I have shared with you is my incredible passion for whiskeys, my knowledge. I don't really care what level you're drinking at. If you're at the start of your journey, drinking a $50 blend, or if you're drinking a $4,500 Port Allen from a closed down distillery. Reach out to me, ask me questions. But one thing I'll request, and the reason why I've done the live video now, is the book will go live on Kindle on the 29th of February. An odd date, I don't know, I'm like that. I thought 29th, February, we don't get them every, we get them every 4 years. So choose a real wonky date. It will go live then. It will end up in your Kindle. You can read it, give me some feedback. But also, I've given myself a target of a certain number of ebook sales. I don't make money for them. I've already told you, selling them for literally $1 or just over $1. I've given myself a target of ebook sales. And if I reach that target, I will do a print copy. It will not be an Amazon copy because I've seen one before and it's not good. I'll do one through Ken. It will look beautiful. I will sign it for you. It will be numbered. It will be short release as well, but I'll have to wait. And it might not happen unless the e-downloads hit that particular number. And so I've given myself a challenge. So over the next 2 weeks, I will be pushing it hard, trying to get everyone to pre-order this book, make it a launch. Hopefully, I'll get the Amazon bestseller, which will be awesome because it pushes out to all these other people around the world as well. I mean, it's costing you nothing to read about what cost me several $1,000s to experience. So there's some interesting stories in there. Well, I better go because like I shared at the start of the video, I haven't been to work today yet and I do not intend to go to work. I've been working remotely from home on my laptop, doing the orders and stuff like that. But literally right this second, I'm on my way to go play my second ever round of 18-course golf with a bunch of my LinkedIn buddies who organized it a little while ago. I know I've been away for 7 days of family holiday, but the golf today, I class it as networking. And that's the key word. And maybe I'll write a book about that one day. I better go. Thank you for listening and watching to me and all the attention you've given me in the last 2 years. It's coming to a pointy head with this book, and I need your support now. Thank you. Bye.